Hey guys, Preacher 357 here, back out here on the range. And today I'm doing a range review with a gun that you've already seen on the channel that I did a tabletop comparison with. And that's the Generation 3, the Gen 3 SCCY CPX2. And I've got that gun here. Well, you saw the differences between the Generation 2 and the Generation 3. We covered that, so I'm not going to bother with that in this video. Today is just about shooting the gun and seeing what I think of it. Seeing if they've made improvements or if this gun is better than the Gen 2. I guess that's really all I can tell you, because I just have one of each. So all I can tell you is my experience I had with the Gen 2 and now the experience I have with this one example of the Gen 3. But I can tell you so far, I'm having a lot better luck with the Gen 3. Right out of the box. Of course, I went ahead and lubed it and cleaned it and shot a bunch of rounds through it before I decided to do a video, because I wanted to give this gun every chance. And a lot of times I don't do that. And I've gotten a little bit of flack from some people about the way I do some of the reviews, where I just take it out of the box and shoot it. And there was one guy who just recently made a comment about he didn't put any faith in reviews that didn't follow exactly the manufacturer's instructions on how to do everything, about cleaning it first and cleaning it after every so many rounds, and because it said clean after 250 rounds, and I shot it more than that, and so any failures I had after that were my fault. And well, I can respect that opinion. I mean, I understand that opinion, but the way I look at it is that I don't really care what the manufacturer says. Kind of like with cars, you know, the car manufacturers will tell you what the estimated miles per gallon are going to be for that car, what the estimated fuel mileage is going to be. I don't care what they say. I care what it actually is. And so, you know, if they say it gets 30 miles per gallon, I only get 20, who cares what they said? I'm only getting 20, but if they say it gets 30 and I get 40, you know, that's what I want to find out. So they say clean it after every 250 rounds. Is that because it's going to take a dump after 250 rounds? Well, let's test it out, right? Yeah, let's shoot more and see what happens. Can it go longer? Because that's really what I want to find out. And is the point I made in my comment back was, you know, how many people go to a gun shop and pick up a gun and say, can I get the manual and read through the manual before I buy it? You know, you just don't see that happening very often, and you just kind of expect a gun to be able to go a decent amount of rounds before it, you know, just dies because of being too dirty. Generally speaking, you know, we'll say Glock, for example, because they have a reputation for reliability, which they've earned. You know, I'm not a Glock fanboy by any means, but I like Glocks. But a Glock, you expect if you take it out of the box, you can shoot 1,000 rounds right out of the box without doing anything, and it's probably going to run all 1,000 rounds. 99 out of 100 times, you would expect that. If it doesn't do it, there's something wrong. So when I test out a budget gun even, I kind of want to see how it stacks up with those higher tier manufacturers. You know, if a Glock can do that and this can't, that's something to consider, because this is significantly cheaper. But if it can't perform, are you better off to spend more money? And that's kind of what I want to know. And really, when I'm out here testing and reviewing, I'm not really testing and reviewing so much for everybody else. I'm doing it for myself, for my own curiosity, and I'm just bringing you along. That's really what this channel's about. It's about me finding out things, me testing things, me experimenting, me learning about guns, and I just bring you along for the journey. This is the kind of stuff I'm going to do anyway, and I just thought, why not put it on video and stick it on YouTube and see if anybody wants to watch it. So that's kind of my philosophy. You know, I really want to see what it will do, and I think a lot of people out there would be interested in that, or think a lot like I do. And for those that don't, that think like this other gentleman, I respect that, I appreciate that. And you know, if you read through a manual, it says clean after every 250 rounds, and 250 rounds is plenty, you know, for you, then that's fine. There's a lot of people who own a gun for 20 years and never put 250 rounds through it. I'm not one of those people. I'll go over 250 rounds in a range session. And my point was, you know, if it can't make it through an entire range session of me shooting it, you know, it's not a lot of value to me. You know, I want something that I can come out and shoot and not have to worry about it. Well, how many rounds have I put through it? I better go clean it now, you know. So, but that didn't have anything to do with the SCCY. I'm just rambling. That was another gun, and it's really kind of a little bit off the subject, but getting back to the point, I wanted to give this every chance, so I did clean it first. I did run a bunch of rounds through it first before I decided to make a video about shooting it. And what I found so far is it's been reliable. I'm actually a little bit shocked because I had so much trouble with my first SCCY CPX2, the Gen 2, and then that DVG1 as well. I had no faith in that gun. I didn't like that gun. It had no accuracy whatsoever. Shooting it off a rest, I couldn't even get a decent group at all. This one seems to do a lot better though. When I shot it off a rest, I got a decent enough group. I'm not going to say it's precision, instrument. I'm not going to say it's, tournament quality, that it's, top tier. You're not going to challenge, some of your 1911s with this gun. But it was good enough for government work, right? It was decent enough for a self-defense pistol at short yardages, which is really what this small gun is for. And so I was fairly well pleased with that. And of the first 10 magazines that I ran through this gun, I had one failure. And I'm not sure that was a failure because what happened was the slide locked back on the last round, before the last round was fired. I hadn't fired it yet. But that may have just been me accidentally hitting the slide release. That's possible. My thumb could have accidentally hit it because the stop slide release on these guns is fairly large. Maybe I accidentally hit it. So maybe that was user error. So I'm not even gonna call that a failure. I'm gonna say this thing was reliable with all 10 mags that I put through this gun initially. And I still have not had a failure yet. So I'm quite happy with that. So today we're just gonna do a little bit of shooting. See what happens. I've been fairly well impressed. I mean, this is not going to be a gun, given my previous experiences, that I'm going to start carrying. It's not going to be a gun that I'm probably going to trust my life with just because of my previous experiences. That's my bias. But, there may be some people out there that will. That this is what you can afford. And, it's reliable for you and you trust it. Hey, that may be what you choose to go with. And if it's as reliable as this one's been, then maybe that's not a bad thing. So let's just do a little bit of shooting now and see if maybe we can hit anything. It looks like it's shooting high and just maybe a hair to the right. Just a hair. But for the most part, just dead center high almost. And so I'm gonna have to hold a little bit low, and maybe just a hair to the left, and probably be able to hit with that. So at least that's my hope. So let's do a little bit of shooting now. As usual, we'll just start out here on the red plates. Start over here close range, 20 yards and out to 35 maybe, and just see what we can do with it. See if we can hit anything. Too low? Maybe. Well, that was high. There we go. Up, down, up, down, up, down, trying to find it. Am I going to be able to hit these little plates? I don't know. I'm going to give her a shot. That was high. I think that was low. I don't know where that one was. It doesn't look like I'm going to hit them little plates, which is not surprising. I like double action triggers because I shoot a lot of revolvers, but honestly, the double action on this is not nearly as good as like a Smith & Wesson. It doesn't have that same crispness. I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's just hard to figure out. It's hard to know exactly when the break is. With a Smith & Wesson, you pretty much know. It's so consistent that you know exactly when it's going to break. It just has that feel to it. You can feel when it kind of hits that little tiny wall before it breaks. Like if you were going to stage the trigger, you can feel that spot, and you just know when it's going to break. And This one here is just not that consistent, and I don't know. We'll just keep seeing if we can hit this little target. The answer so far is no. But I like to waste ammo, so we're going to keep trying it. See if I can figure it out here. There we go. There we go. Turn him around sideways. Can't complain about that. Not from a little self-defense gun. Like I said, this is not a range toy, really. You know, it's not something you're going to go to competition with. You're not going to win any bullseye competitions with it. But for a self-defense gun, for something to carry, you know, it might work really well because they are light. You know, they are very light guns. Even with 11 rounds in them, they say they're 10+1, but just as with my Gen 2 CPX2 and just as with the DVG1, these magazines will hold 11 rounds. They call them 10+1, but every one I've tried sure will fit 11. So let's go over here to 180 yards here and see if we can hit both of these targets. Not holding out a lot of hope, but who knows, maybe I can get it. Well, I just had a malfunction. It locked back. It locked back. I don't know, did I hit the slide release? I don't think so, but that's what happened. I did hit the 100-yard plate though. Well, I'm going all around it, ain't I? I think maybe I just accidentally hit it eventually. But not to be. Well, I'm not going to complain. It's a pleasant surprise. Am I just unbelievably thrilled about this gun? No. I mean, the trigger's uncomfortable. I mean, it wears on your finger a little bit after a number of rounds. You know, after I put 100 and something rounds through it, it really starts to wear on your finger. One thing I do notice here, the frame pin is walking out. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. That front frame pin is a little bit proud now. It's walking out of the frame, which is exactly what happened with my CPX2 Gen 2. So the Gen 3 is doing the same thing. I don't understand why they can't fix that problem. I don't know why they can't, you know, put something on that pin that holds it into place. You know, some sort of texturing, some sort of slot or something, you know. I don't understand why that is a constant problem. And they know it's a problem because they have oversized frame pins that they'll send you out to try to fix the problem. Why not just put the oversized in the first place? Of course, my CPX2 Gen 2, eventually the oversized worked their way out as well, you know. So I don't understand why Sky hasn't remedied that problem. It seems like a problem that would be pretty easy to fix, but it's definitely starting to walk out. You know, I have no problem with this gun. I don't know, obviously, about the durability of the gun, and that's really where my concern would be, because with the CPX2 Gen 2, I put a lot of rounds through it. It went through a phase where it wasn't reliable, and then I seemed to find ammo that it liked. I seemed to work through a lot of the issues. I got it where it would feed reliably, and I started carrying it even. And I liked the gun for a while, and then the more rounds I got through it, the more things started breaking on it, and eventually pretty much everything on the gun broke. So durability is a question, and maybe I'll do a 1,000-round review just to see if it holds up. I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep shooting the gun that much or not, because I don't consider it a pleasant experience. I don't enjoy shooting this gun, you know, and I don't know that I want to put that many rounds through it. So that may just be a question that's just left hanging. Hate to do that to you, but that's just the fact of the matter. But so far, the only two malfunctions I've had are the slide locking back, and that just may be me. I'll take the blame. We'll call it 100% reliable. How's that go? We'll just call it 100% reliable. We'll say it's all me. Could be the magazines, obviously, but I'm going to say it's me. And pleasant surprise. Glad to see that. Glad to see the accuracy a lot better than with the DVG1, considering it has a barrel that looks pretty much exactly like the DVG1, and it's different than the Gen 2 barrel. I was wondering if it would suck like the DVG1, to be very blunt about it. But it didn't. It did pretty well. So, and in fact, when I compared it to the Gen 2, the point of impact was almost identical, and the groupings were almost identical. The point of impact was pretty much identical. Everything was about the same. So, you know, it didn't get any worse, at least. We'll put it that way. So, there she is. The SCCY CPX2. And it is what it is. But guys, before we go, I want to tell you to check out the description. In there, I've got a link for the GOA, the Gun Owners of America, where you can get a discounted membership there to join up, get in the fight, help us with our gun rights on a national level. And if you live in the state of Tennessee, I've got a link there for the Tennessee Firearms Association. They're a great group that does a lot of good work here in the state of Tennessee, and also works hand in hand with the GOA here in this state. So if you live in Tennessee, then join the Tennessee Firearms Association as well, because we need all the help we can get here. Of course, if you live in another state, I'm sure you have a state organization as well, and I think a lot of our fight is going to be on the state level, so you might want to look at joining your local state organization as well. One other thing is I want to beg here. I'm going to beg, not much of a beggar, don't like to do it, that's why I don't normally do it, but I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. And the reason I'm making a change here is that I'm trying to get to a certain level. I'm almost at a year now on this channel, which is hard to believe. Seems like I've just started this channel, but at the same time seems like I've been doing it forever. But I'm almost at the year mark, and I'm a little behind where I wanted to be. I wanted to get this channel to monetization, to be part of the partner program within a year, and I'm not quite on pace to do that. I'm actually further ahead than I thought I would be, because I never really thought I would get there. But that's what I wanted, and I've been happy with the progress I made, but I still have some more progress to make. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to join the partner program with YouTube. Now, my watch hours are way above what they need, and I'm so thankful for that people are actually watching my videos. But a lot of people watch and don't subscribe. I think my subscriber to non-subscriber watch ratio is like 97% of my watchers, of the viewers, are non-subscribers. And I understand, you know, when you watch gun channels, a lot of times you only watch if they have a gun you're interested in. You know, if you only like AR-15s and polymer frame pistols, you know, you don't care if I do revolvers and lever guns, and you're not going to watch those videos, and vice versa. But, you know, I'd like to see that number a little bit better than 97% of my viewers being non-subscribers. So if you're watching this video and you found any value in it whatsoever, you just enjoy seeing me be a goofball up here and embarrass myself quite often, then, you know, subscribe to the channel. Help me out. Throw me a like there. You know, comment on the video if you've got any input. I like to listen to what you have to say, and I try to be open-minded. I try not to be a smart aleck when I reply back, but sometimes people can be a little harsh in their criticisms, and sometimes I'm a little bit of a smart aleck back. I try my best not to be, but if you comment, I'm going to try to respond. I may just give you a like or a heart if I don't really have anything productive to say, because I'm just dumb sometimes. But you know, if you would, just like, subscribe, comment, and help me grow this channel some more. Guys, I appreciate you coming back to see me here on the range once again, and thank you for coming out. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for almost a year of growth that I've experienced on this channel, and God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.